Alright, this is 3V Learning Center, and we are here to do a brief of a review on financial management F9. As you know, the examiner, the chief examiner, Antonio Head, a man very sound in this paper, and because he's sound, he's expecting us to have a very good knowledge about this paper. Now, for the exam on F9, F5, financial management. Yes, for the paper, it's a 100-mark exam, 4 questions, attempt what, attempt all. And like I said, the examiner expects us to have a sound understanding of this paper. Now, before you can have a good mark out of it, it means for every question, you have a bit of everything in the syllabus. What am I saying? Now, if you are to attempt question 1, the examiner will tell you to look at the cost of capital that has a bit of what, business valuation. And sometimes you can find what now, investment appraisal. The exam is also structured in a discussion part and what, and a calculation part. So don't look at financial management F9 as a what, as a calculation course. For me, I want to do a ratio of what, 40-60. Now the 40 is the what, is the calculation, and your 60 is what, is the discussion. So the reason why we have the failure rate so high is most students believe because it is called financial, it is what, more of calculation. Alright, now let's look at the structure of the syllabus. The examiner has decided to divide this into 8 sections, A to what, A to H. Now, so far so good. I have my own structure of delivering what, paper F9 to the students. But for the structure of the syllabus, I want to break it down for us. Now, the first part of this course is what? The financial management function. Now, what are we trying to look at under this section? We're trying to look at the definition of financial management. We're trying to look at the responsibility of financial managers. We're trying to look at investment decision, look at what? Financing decision. All right? And that is under the section what? Financial management and function. Now, this part only accounts for 2% of the exam syllabus. This section accounts for what? 2% of the exam note of the exam section. So in my own style of lecturing, I sometimes say the student should go and what? Do that reading on their part. Why? Because it is more of what? Discussion and carries what? Just a little. Now, I'm not saying we should throw that away because it's what? It is relevant. 2 can give you that what? That pass mark that we need. Alright, now the second part, which is the part B, is talking about what? The financial management environment. As the financial manager, there are other factors that affect your decision. Before you can take up the investment decision, there are some external factors that you must put into consideration. And under this section, we want to look at the economic environment. The what? Economic environment for what? For business. Now, what are the factors that affect your business? Now, after this, we want to look at the financial market and what? An institution. You agree with me that for financial managers, you must have a good understanding or an in-depth knowledge about the market and the institution that surrounds you. And that is why this section also, financial management environment, is very, very essential. All right. Now, this part also accounts for just 3% of the exam syllabus. The first one I said account for what? 2%, while the second part, known as financial management environment, accounts for just what? 3%. Now, so the section A and section B of the exam is just what? 5%. All right. Now, from the syllabus, the next part is what? The working capital management. Working capital management accounts for about 15 to 20% of the exam. it accounts for about what? 15 to 20% of what? Of the exam. So it means that you cannot what? Run away from this part of the what? Of the syllabus. And a sound and a good knowledge of this is what? Is required for your what? For your success. Now under this section, we have the working capital management. We have working capital what? Working capital finance. Under the working capital management, we have a subsection like the management of what? Working capital itself, and we have how to finance our what? Our working capital. You agree with me that the element of working capital will be what? Inventory, receivables, payables, and we need to know how to what? Manage this element of what? Of working capital. So this accounts for like minimum 15%, and if you have a good knowledge of this, then you are 15% into what? Into the success of what? Of paper F9. Now this will now take us to the key area, which is investment appraisal. This is section D of the what? Of the exam. It is what? Investment what? Appraisal. What do we have under investment appraisal? A very large section that accounts for about 20 to 25%. Investment appraisal accounts for about 20 to 25% of the work of the exam syllabus. So it means that this also is a very critical area. We want to look at how the various techniques for investment appraisal. We want to look at the risk. We want to look at appraising what? Appraising project and all other what? Subsections under this what? Under this section. Now the section E, known as what? Business finance. Before you can do any investment, you need finance. Before you can do any investment, you agree with me that you need finance. So we want to look at the various sources from available to what? Investors. Various what? Sources of finance that is available to what? To investors. This is also a very important part of the exam, which accounts for like 10%. And you agree with me that we have what? The long term, the short term, and we also have another form of what? Debt or equity as what? As the source of what? As the source of finance. As what? As the source of finance. Now, this will take us to section what now? Section F, known as what? The cost of capital. Section F, known as the cost of what? Capital. For me, I want to look at this at the heartbeat of what? Of financial management. The cost of capital as what? As the heartbeat of what? Of financial what? Management. Because a good understanding of your cost of capital would assist you in dealing with questions under investment appraisal. Now, aside this, it will also assist you in having a good knowledge of what? Of your source of finance. Because what is cost of capital talking about? Is saying the return to the what? Providers of what? Of finance. So if you know your what? Your source of finance, then the return or what you need to pay to these providers of finance is what we refer to as what? Our cost of capital. Now, this also accounts for 10% of what? Of the exam. So it means that I think I should take 10 to 15% also. It means that this is important, that carries the bulk of the what? Of the exam syllabus. But if you don't have a good understanding of your cost of capital, then you are far away from getting your what? Your 20%. And that's why I call this cost of capital the heartbeat of what? Of financial management. Alright. Now we want to look at what? Business valuation. We want to look at business what? Valuation as another what? Section of what? Of the syllabus. What is business valuation? You're trying to determine the what? The value of your business. And you agree with me that financial managers need to know the value of the business they are managing. Alright, now this is also what? A 10%. And finally, we want to look at what? Management of what? Of risk. Both exchange rate risk and what? Interest rate risk, which is the what? The H part, which is also 10. 5, let's make this a 5 to 10%. Alright. Now, if you sum up this, we should get 100 what? 100%. If we sum up this, we should get 100% of what? Of the syllabus. Now, I want to say this, and I want us to have a good understanding of this. that at 3V Learning Center, the objective of the tutor and the student is to ensure that we pass what now relevant information to you, make it simpler, and that is what we are here to do. Now, I would not, and I'll repeat this, I would not follow the structure of the syllabus. Why? Because it's a bit complex. If you don't know what your cost of capital, then it might be very, very challenging or difficult for us to having a good understanding of investment appraisal. Because one of the techniques that we use in arriving at our NPV and the rest is our cost of capital, also known as the discounting factor. Are we together? So at 3V Learning Center, how do we structure this? We look at cost of capital first, and like I said, the heartbeat of financial management. We look at the first section known as the cost of capital. Now, if you know your cost of capital grounded in this section, then I said you are 10% away from it. But it has a multiplier effect on your investment appraisal. Good. So we start with this cost of capital. Now this will usher us into business valuation. Business valuation. Why? I said cost of capital will usher us into business valuation. To strike your mind, why? The examiner is saying that we should start with financial management function. I'm saying no. Why? Because it is theoretical. 5%. Go home, read it up. And besides, sometimes you might not even find it in examination. So why not deal with something that will help you to pass this exam and give you a better knowledge about the paper you're dealing with. Now, a cost of capital is saying what you pay to providers of your finance. Now, one of the method of determining the cost of capital, the reciprocal is a method for determining the business value. So, if you have an understanding of the dividend valuation model in calculating your cost of capital, this same model will be used in determining the value of the business. So it makes us to use one stone to kill two birds. For me, sometimes I say I use one bird to kill two stones. That is my own analogy. For the rest of you, you can decide to pick yours. Alright, now I said cost of capital, it leads us into into your business valuation. Now, if you have this same understanding, then the next point of call is our investment appraisal. Is our investment appraisal. Now, why are we following this sequence? Now, you want to appraise an investment, right? And you are saying you need a discounting factor under the discounted cash flow technique. Under the discounted cash flow techniques. Because in appraising investment, we have two techniques: the non-discounting and the discounting. Under the discounting, you need something to discount your cash flow. And what is the thing you need to discount? Your cost of capital. I hope you can see the reason why I'm saying that this cost of capital is the heartbeat of this paper F9. Alright, so I'm saying your cost of capital, your business valuation, your investment appraisal. Now help me. Don't forget, we have our 10%. We have our 10%, we have our 20%. Now, a good understanding of this gives you 40%. A good understanding of this automatically gives you a 40% of what the examiner is expecting you to ask. Now, not forgetting the fact that the examiner is someone that is sound in this paper. He would ask you to solve question 1, bring in an investment appraisal question, include a business valuation, also include a cost of capital in just a single question. So it means that you cannot just know investment appraisal and expect to pass. Are we together? Because in each, if not all, you would find a question that has virtually all the outline content. So that's why we have to have a good understanding of what? Of the content. Now, investment appraisal. This will now take us to what? The sources of what? Finance. This can be a standalone if you want, and also our what? Working capital. Finally, what do we have? Finally, what do we have? We have risk management. All right. So if you check it out, this is 6 core areas that we need to understand. 6 core areas in the financial management environment and what? The financial management function. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do tell people that I've been taking this paper for quite some time, and I can assure you that I don't change the winning team. For 3V Learning Center, we've had good pass rates in financial management. This is the strategy we've been adopting, and this is the strategy we'll continue to adopt because it's been working. And I want to believe that if you adopt the same strategy, you would see ourselves in P4, Advanced Financial Management. Thank you so very much.